as you can tell, we're tired. we just really did a Utah's Recce Run. It was a 10K, right?
Yeah.
I gotta say it was probably one of the more physically demanding things I've ever done of the late.
For you.
For me, yeah, not for him.
It was pretty demanding. It was a good run.
It was really great. So if you want to describe how it was.
Yeah. So I put on my Under Armour Run app on just to track my whole process.
Yeah.
I also caught some of my mistakes. Let's just say that because it's the first time. As first time running an event that's like tailored to tactical and with marathon and running and all that kind of stuff. Like there's a lot of aspects that you got to put into play.
It was a lot. It was what I expected, and it was a lot more than what I expected too.
Yeah.
I think because originally you and I wanted to do tactical games.
No.
And then we couldn't because the window closed for us to actually sign up for it. And then when I saw this, I sent it to him as a joke. And then he was like, "No, we're doing this."
Yeah.
I was like,
We're doing it.
"What we?" He was like, "Yeah, we're doing it. Let some of the guys know if they're gonna do it. We're all gonna do it." So we had another guy who joined us, Hunter. You guys who don't know what this Utah Recce Run is, it's split up in 4 different divisions. There's kids, women's, a 5K and a 10K. And no, actually 5 divisions because there's another one that for people over the age of 55. So we ran on Rocky Ridge, and it was literally mountain to mountain. I think
Straight uphill.
straight up, yeah. The first,
Really?
oh wow, it was brutal. Like the first 2 stages tested my quads. They felt like old Band-Aid that just want to peel off my skin. By the time of stage 3, I just wanted to just fall over and die. But it was pretty challenging. Funny enough, I used my 18-inch AR as a walking stick. Climbing
Shit, did you really?
I did.
Oh my god.
I did. The fun. Well, I had a suppressor on, so for me, it wasn't a big of a deal.
So
but
you put the tip in, you put your.
yep,
finger
I was like this, and I was like, let's go, and I was doing. It was like I said, it was brutal. But I came back down once I finished the run.
Lesson learned: don't purposely stick a gun in the dirt.
Yeah, you don't obviously.
Because you're gonna mess up the barrel, man.
Well, it
Your
wasn't the barrel.
accuracy.
It wasn't the barrel. It was the like
Still, you're gonna clog it up. Like any pressure you're adding and bending the barrel as a pressure, that's all connected.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like it's kind of hard to mess it up, but you still risk that chance and that percentage of even just bending it slightly, throwing off your
Shot.
aim and your shots from
Right.
a longer distance.
Right.
Up close is probably not. I was like, it's not gonna make any difference.
Mhm.
But anywhere past like 400 and beyond, or even maybe sometimes 3, depending on like how bad you bend it, like you flex it, like it makes a difference.
Yeah, thank God that my barrel wasn't a lightweight barrel. I think my 18-inch is an FN barrel. So, but regardless, Rios is right. You definitely don't want to do that. I was just being a little whiny that day, and I wasn't the only one who thought of that. I had some of the guys I ran across the course. They were like, I thought about doing that too, because that uphill was brutal. From stage 1 to 2 was unbelievable.
How were you carrying your rifle the whole entire time you ran?
So I slung it over. Here, let me describe it like this.
Yeah.
So let's see. Clear. All right. So I slung it over like this the entire time, and I put my left hand on the grip, and I was running.
Speaking of, how you look like that? Because that's how
I carry it. Nice. So yeah, I carried it like this. If you guys can't tell, so it's like this. Here I had it slung like this. So this is what I did it, and honestly, it was comfortable.
Yeah.
It was comfortable. So just for me doing it like that. Another thing that I'm not sure if you guys did it the same way, but if there were people in front of us, then we had to wait in order for them to complete the stage for us to actually, start the stage. So there were 7 different stages. Stage 1 was a pistol, 2 was long distance, 3 was long distance, 4 was
mixed
pistol and 1 rifle.
Yeah.
5 was long distance,
And then pistol.
and then 6 was.
Can't really remember too much about it, honestly.
Yeah, we're like this is the day after.
Yeah.
where our legs are sore. He actually he did it on Friday with a bunch of other range officers. Actually, Rios was kind enough to be one of the range officers that day. And you guys were help setting up the stage on exactly what's going to be efficient. So what was your thoughts on setting things up?
So I mean, like I said, it was my first experience in general for an event like that, and then also being an RO. I had very good ideas of what to expect, and it was pretty much on par with what I was expected to have. When we ran the range for ourselves, it was the run event for us was kind of like a little bit challenging because we had to piggyback off each other.
Really?
Yeah. Because it wasn't like there's an RO ready for every stage, so we had to piggyback. I'll give you an example. Let's say you ran the stage, I had to be your RO, and then I come back and then I run it, and boom.
Oh, gotcha.
So there's a lot of build up in the beginning for the first few stages.
Got it.
But as like we had runners from our RO's perspectives like going on, then like you immediately becoming your RO.
Yeah.
Like within yourself.
Gotcha.
So and then we were basically, just testing things out, like how do we want to process our times, like your clock in times and your clock out times and your drill times and things like that. So we had a little play with that. Kind of messed us up a little bit because we got really cold, and then you had to run, and then you get really cold
again,
waiting and try to figure things out and then run again. So
yeah.
We made it a lot smoother for you guys on Saturday, where like it was more efficient, like follow through, just like get to your course, do your shot. Maybe you might wait a little bit, but you're good.
I think was it one of the things that I heard. I'm not exactly sure if this is true. Maybe you can clear this up. But nobody completed every single one of the stages.
Oh, I was wrong. No, a few people did.
Oh, a few people
I think
did.
I'll say like maybe 5.
5?
5
and no
out of,
DNFs.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would say like 5 out of like where there's like 40, 50 of us. So literally like 95% of the people DNF'd at least once.
Dang, that's insane.
Only 5 people made it all the way through. And
that is crazy.
They're not even that fast either. Some of them weren't even that fast.
But they
made it through the whole course.
That's insane. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, DNF means just did not finish. And like I said, there were a lot of people who actually attended a course like this. I met a guy named Chris who is a trainer at Odyssey in Salt Lake. There were people who were former Marines, former Army, or people who just did a USDA. IDPF was IDAPF, right? Or that. So there, it was a multitude of a lot of things. It was really fun. A good family event too. For
very mixed.
Very, very mixed. Very mixed. It was welcoming, and it wasn't just that. But I heard a lot of people really enjoy this event because there were no like hierarchies. There were no drama apparently, and there weren't any ROs that acted like a-holes. So I don't know. Like this first event, I thought it was pretty dope.
Out of the RO's perspective, like everybody knew what we were doing. We all wanted to be like, hey, we're all here to have a good time. First of all, have a good time. Well, correction. First of all, safety. Right?
Yes.
Be safe. Second, we're here to have a good time.
Yeah.
Third, we're just like, hey, run through the course to see how this goes. Like, it's good training and it's learning lessons.
Yeah, for sure.
So one of the things I learned, because it caused me a DNF probably basically every stage that had pistols in it, screwed me over, was I forgot to buy match grade ammo for my pistol.
For a pistol, yeah.
And then and on top of that, also zero it for that. So I had a whole bunch of mixed ammo with different grains from different companies, just all piled mixed in, and I just like loading it in. Up to like 7-10 yards. Not really too much of a big deal. Deviation is very minimal, but anything past that, you can really see your spreads. And I was chasing zero the whole entire time. I wasted 95% of my ammo on the first stage.
No kidding.
Yeah, just trying to.
Wow.
I'm like, wow, and it was embarrassing because I'm like, oh man, it's like I swear.
Like I'm not this bad. I swear.
I'm not this bad. I'm a good shot. I was able to prove that with my rifle.
There you go. See,
when they saw me with the rifle, they're like, "Damn, this guy's good."
That's good.
Because they were like, "Fuck," and I'm like, on top of that, they're like, "This guy's fast as fuck."
Yeah. So actually, I'm actually gonna show you guys a video of Rio's actually doing stage 4. No, 4. It was 4 because you ran into to the caution tape and you ran into the caution tape.
I got 4 and 3, yeah.
And then you booked it to another one where you actually shoot. Was it one close, another one far, which was I think 500 yards out.
Yeah.
So
Get back. Oh boy. Jesus, fast sprinter. Holy crap. You're gonna get this on the video, man. Slow down a little. Gosh. Crap. Impact. Impact 2.
Let's go, Shadow, man.
So, I totally forgot about this day. That day was fun. But yeah, I felt like really conditioned and trained us on the mentality of literally like outside warfare.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Running in the terrain too.
Yeah, and that's something that we practice on a lot. And a lot of people who I guess don't train on uneven terrains, they were having issues.
Yeah.
So you can tell in their speed, their mobility, their just everything. Their body language kind of shares it all. Which
it will show any weakness you have, basically any weakness you have. Like it really tested out your endurance, your accuracy, your footwork, and your command.
Yeah.
And how do you use your gear?
Yeah.
And those are the things that I harp on to everybody that we have in our little group that we're working in and we're slowly building, which we're probably going to double our size in the group within the next month or so because of this event.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, hey, let's train with you. So there's gonna be more people who are gonna maybe join this channel, just for here and there. But it's good to get this information out. So when you guys are wanting to do something like this to train on, then you'll know what to look for. And big ups to the guy who actually, big ups to the people who actually, put this all together. It was a lot of work for them. We shot on private land, which is great. But yeah, dude, big ups to you guys. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Rio's thoroughly enjoyed it as well. Let's talk about our gear that we were running, so you guys could see what we ran, what made sense to us, and what we've kind of messed up on.
Well, most of my gear is in my truck still because I have you unloaded.
It's
like the only thing I brought out just like I'm gonna bring my rifle out.
No, it's fine because if anything, like I'll probably cut in some of the gear that that we wore because I didn't bring my gear either. It's all at home. My quads and my glutes and my everything below chest level is sore. But Rios and I both ran chest rigs. I ran a battle belt. Did you run a battle belt?
I did not.
He didn't run a battle belt. So I ran a battle belt. Hunter ran a battle belt as well as chest rig. I ran Ace Tactical. It was an Ace chest rig. It had a dangler. Jesus Christ, dangler, added pouch, placard, fist, 3 mags. I was running 77 Hornady match grade, 5.56. Same with Rios. I ran my 365.
Made the difference, huh, for the distance. Fought that win.
It did. So there was another thing. A lot of people who were running that race, who were running that Recce race, they were only shooting 55, and it was really windy that day. And you can definitely see it past like 400 yards. A lot of people were trying to chase their zero as well. But regardless, I was chasing my 0T because my scope decided to...
the turn started to shit itself.
Yes, it did. And it was my first time using it in this kind of condition, and it was an Arkin scope. So...
Ours was not bad. I just we just gotta really reevaluate the turn cap and see, okay, well, what went wrong with it? Was it the screws? Is it something that we did wrong? Did we tighten something wrong, or did it just shit itself? Yeah,
if it did, then I'll be emailing Arkin to see, hey, what it was. But people were kind of impressed because it was stage 2. This is what happened when I found out my Arkin pretty much shit on itself.
That's the one with you had one right down, and then you had 2 far mid, and then one even further out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I found out on stage 2 that my shots were really off. We had so stage 2 we had to use a bipod. A tripod.
I did not like that.
You did. I
was like,
this is.
I was like,
sorry,
sorry guys.
You made it work.
You made it work. Like I have a video. I have a video on that. I did it myself.
Beautiful. Okay, please send it
So
to
I
us
can
so
show
you guys
you.
can see. I didn't, because in this instance like this, if you're shooting on a mountain, and you're looking to gain cover, I would assume, hey, just lay down, shoot your targets. But using a bipod on the tip of a mountain, shooting out, I'm just like, and not only that, all the stages were timed.
Yeah.
Every single stage was timed, and it was.
It wasn't necessary that having a tripod was a problem. It was just like, it was just a random tripod
in the middle of it, and you had to.
There was no padding. There was no nothing. There was.
I just literally threw it on there, and I just, like I said,
like for example, I'm not trying to flag anybody, but like you literally just had to kind of have your hand there and just laying there, and there was nowhere for it to be stable, and so you're like trying to figure a way. On top of that, they wanted you to carry it with you, and you're like, oh okay, and like.
So then you take it out, and then you're just moving this tripod to the like I said, of all the stages, I thought that was the most least effective. Not harping anybody who has set up the stage, because maybe you guys had sponsors that like, hey, we got to use this tripod for the stage.
No, it was just like I don't know why. Honestly, even as an artist player, I was like, we should have just
tossed it.
We should have just put it on the ground. And like, if we're gonna use a tripod, use a T-post.
Yeah.
The wooden tri-post. What do you call it?
I would.
On stage 3, that
would make sense.
That makes more sense.
That would make sense because in a way.
It's stable. It's it's something that you can actually brace your gun, because you couldn't brace it. It was so like it was so fragile and nimble. Like it was like there's
it broke. Like when I was on it, it broke. Like it broke on me.
There's
so
no point. It doesn't make sense.
The only time that I feel like a tripod would be a necessity is if you're using a tripod behind a bush or like a tree, and your scope could
you have a proper clamp mounting system.
Thank you.
It.
Yes.
It was just a flat plastic part.
And like, do you expect it to just like
where
screw it in and you're timed too.
Yeah.
You're timed. So like I said, I thought that was the weak, aside from the point, it was the weakest stage that I thought. But when I was shooting it, I was shooting really high, and I was like, what the heck? And when the time was up, I was kind of irritated. I'm not gonna lie, I was irritated. I was like, why can't I get the shots? I remember, I swear to God, right? And then I was messing with the cap on top, just to check that elevation, and there was no click. It just spun, and I was like, oh no. And the guy looks at me. He goes, oh, you're gonna have a bad day. And I was like, no, I'm gonna have a good day because I'm still gonna have fun. He was at stage 3, so when I went down, he was like talking to the other RLs. They were like, this guy, they're all hyping me up. I was like, don't expect too much from me, because you see this thing, and I spun it in front of them. They're like, oh. I was like, yeah. So I was chasing 0. So, and not gonna, I mean,
you weren't necessarily chasing. You were just trying to find
splash and then figure out where it's at.
Where is my bullet dropping at?
Exactly. And then once I figured out where that's at, then I adjusted accordingly. And it's just like this, guys. When you're out there and you're going through, I guess, whatever the heck it is, you guys have to learn to adapt fast. So
it's not like you can quit. It's like, all right, guys, hold on, let me stop. Let me go back home. And,
it's like,
you gotta
guys,
figure it out on the spot and make it work.
You finish it, and you finish it well. So that's what I did.
Your turn's not working. All right, well now you gotta rely on your
instincts, everything.
On your reticle, on itself. And it's like, okay, if my zero's not gonna be on my crosshair, let's say my zero's at my windage 1 mil and a drop. Like now you gotta kind of guess where your new zero's at.
When I got there, it was actually really windy.
Yeah.
It was really windy. So what I had to do here, I could just borrow that for a bit. So my arcing knob was up here. So when I had my bipod sat down, I literally put my hand, I put it to 0. I put my hand on top of that, and then I went through, and then I was hoping. This was my logic. It was every time I shot, because this thing will shift, I kept it at 0 as I'm chasing my splashes and I'm chasing my bullet, and I got through half of it.
It wasn't necessarily your turn. Your turn was still. It was just the cap that got loose.
Yeah, the cap got loose.
So you couldn't adjust. Your adjustment went to shit.
Yeah.
So it was just whatever you had is whatever you had.
Yeah, exactly. So the funny thing was, when my first shots, and I'm talking about match grade ammo. This stuff ain't cheap, man. Yeah. Stuff is not cheap.
MLC, by the way.
Yeah, but how the hell do you do this?
What are you trying to do? There's a button. There's a button behind it.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
You don't know how useful that thing was.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my bipod helped out pretty well too. On stage 4, it helped out. But I went through half the stage on stage 3 before the time went up, and they said it was impressive. Like, because most people couldn't even get through half.
Yeah, no, like literally, like not even half was able to get halfway of it. Like majority, like I would say, 98% of the people failed. Oh, by the way, on that stage, I had the best time.
Wow.
Not trying to be cocky.
Cocky.
But
this is great.
On that, everyone was saying that stage was the hardest, and I actually had the best time on it as well.
Damn.
I did it in 82 seconds.
Wow. That's impressive.
What was that? Minute and 20?
I think so. So
minute and 20. The closest guy next was a minute and like 38.
Wow. So that was a big gap.
Yeah.
That's a big gap. That's awesome. So the stage was set up on, I think it was around, like, was it 450 yards or 500?
So you had,
Three targets.
I ranged it.
Okay.
I ranged it. It was 270, 300, and 360.
Got it. So there was 3 targets. You had to shoot 2 in each one from prone position, and then you had to move to a post and shoot it in reverse twice every time.
2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2.
There you go. So,
And the wind definitely take way more effect because you're shooting across to another mountain ridge.
yeah.
Like straight up across. So you have all that air just slinging by, and also it's not consistent. It can be blowing in one direction, and then it will start kind of curving on you.
It was
start
messing
blowing
a
on you.
lot of people up.
So
Yes,
even like PRS guys, they were like, I was like, damn, we're having a hard time doing
Yeah.
it.
Their 55 grains
Yeah.
weren't holding up. So for us, we were shooting 77, and I think that saved us a lot of. Maybe next time we do 308 just for.
Oh, I think it did great.
You think it did great?
We're talking about like, oh, who wants to bring a 308 AR-10 hiking up that thing?
That thing would be exhausting.
For competition?
yeah.
Like, my God.
All right.
No, I'm not even bring it out.
No, you're gonna bring it out. Okay.
No, I'm not gonna
Well,
bring
he
it
wants
out.
to. He wants to show his.
No, it's not done yet.
It's not done.
There's something I have on it.
Okay,
I can't
got
show it.
Got you. So, but other than that, we had the stage sent out to everybody. I think a couple days prior, and they were.
It
letting
wasn't
us know.
completely accurate.
It wasn't accurate.
It was there was gonna be some change. I think like on paper it was like a 2 something or less.
Right, but
Or even
that can give you a good idea if you're going to be doing something like this to pick out your ammo, to pick out your build, pick out everything. On okay, what kind of scope you're going to be using? If because I think every single rifle, every single stage you need your rifle was past like 100 yards, at least.
Yeah, I'll say the farthest shot will probably be stage 4. Yeah, I'll say
500,
stage
yeah.
4, 500.
500,
That was the farthest shot.
farther shot.
Which I was barely able to finish that event. I had like 5 seconds to spare. And the reason that I was actually really good on time, that's the one you have the video where I'm taking off, right?
Yeah.
Well, I had the video.
Yeah.
I did really good. The only thing I was fighting was the weather. Not the weather, the sun. Because when I went through it, I went through it, and you'll see in the video, where the sun was
just glaring
right above the mountain, and it was just beaming on me. Like if I was able to shoot at this event a little, maybe like 30 minutes earlier or 30 minutes, 10 minutes afterwards, I don't think I would have to deal with it.
But you did.
Yeah. So in the beginning, if you look at it, I start off, I take off, I get to my first station with the caution tape, and immediately I'm already fighting the sun because it's hitting directly on my LPVO. So my first shot was around 100 something. I shot it standing up.
Yeah.
I think I lit off about 5 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So the first 3 rounds, I was like just right around it because I was like, it was basically like a blur. Like it was
Right.
like I can barely see it. I know where it's there, but
Yeah.
I can't really see it. So I'm
Right.
like shooting, and then okay. So my last 2 shots, I adjusted and I hit it, bam, bam, and then I took off.
Yeah.
And if
it
you
was
look-
funny. The guy was like trying to catch up with this guy.
So this guy's
fast.
sprint is like,
This is going on video.
it's like, slow down.
No, he was like, no, this is time. Like you make it
And
work.
By the time he got to me, I was already shooting. Like
Yeah.
I was already hitting my targets by the
Well,
time he got to me. It
was great.
You just hear him on his own, like out of breath, like impact.
It was funny.
And then after that, from there on out, then I started engaging at the 500,
And it was tough.
and I'm like, I can't find it. I think I lit off like 10 or 12 rounds.
Back impact. Oh boy. Jesus, fast sprinter. Holy crap. You're gonna get this on the video, man. Slow down a little. Gosh. So crap. Impact. Impact 2.
Let's go, Shadow, man. Like 10 rounds was me, like, I know the area spot and I can barely see it, but as I'm trying to shoot it, it keeps disappearing on me.
Oh man.
Like because on top of that, even so, I'm fighting the sun that's directly on me, not on top of me, directly facing me. So you're like, it's like I'm shooting against a light, basically. I'm shooting against a light, and on top of that, the target was in a dark spot.
Yeah.
In a dark spot. So I had two things fighting against me. And I'm like, really, like, if I took my time, whatever, you know, I'm like, I would say, okay, all right, take my sweet time, really get it. But in a rush, I was like, all right, I know it's right there around the area, just keep popping rounds. And like, as I'm popping rounds, I'm gonna try to PID the target and walk my bullets in.
Yeah.
So probably around halfway of me, like, you know, letting out strings of fire, I start to see where my rounds are at. And from there on out, then I start to really kind of hone in on the little spot where I can barely see it. And then within the last, like I said, 2-3 seconds, bam, bam, I'm like, pass. I'm like, oh, sweet.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Did your, this is your LPV that you run.
So this is what I ran.
So, okay, so kind of share your build on this.
So we went with, you know, I stripped off my flashlight and my US night vision because there's no point, extra weight. Suppressor, it's optional, you know, but I'm gonna run it because I have it, right?
I ran my suppressor as well.
You know, it's more pleasant to shoot and I enjoy it.
Every RO that saw people who ran suppressors thanked us. So that's a cue for everybody who didn't run suppressed that day.
Yeah. Like there were some guys there I was being an RO and they had muzzle brakes. Like I was like, even with Ear Pro, I started to feel the difference from just a regular flash hider to muzzle brakes and different calibers.
Really?
And that's trying to be an RO, and I was a safety guy as well. So I'm like close to him. And I'm like, over time, like after a few shots, I can deal with it. But all day, I'm just getting concussed. I'm just like, all right, this is starting to get annoying. I'm getting a headache.
Is it kind of similar to the muzzle brake in my Type
Yes,
A?
yes.
Even worse?
Yes.
Just
basically like
obnoxiously loud and stupid.
Yeah, it was like, there's no point. It was like, man, like, you're like, the gun, and when you put it on a 5.56, like, the gun does not have that much recoil to begin with for you to really necessarily need a muzzle brake.
308, I would get. 5.56, suck it up.
You don't. Like, it doesn't have it. You know, you don't have that much recoil to fight it. Like toughen the fuck up, my guy. Right? Seriously. Like, stop being a bitch. I know I'm not, for me it's gonna be the same as, well, stop being a bitch about the concussions. Like, I'm not being a bitch, but you know what? It's more pleasant. You know, it's not required that you have to have a muzzle brake on 5.56. I had one guy I was shooting with a 6.5 Grendel, hand loads.
What?
Oh, his gun jammed.
Oh, wait, did it break?
Yeah, it broke down.
So check it out. The guy that actually broke, that we took it apart, his bolt actually broke off in the upper.
Same happened to me.
That was that it sheared off, right?
Same
So
crap.
crazy, right? So guys, get extra bolts, get extra bolt carriers. Like I said, that's the heart of this thing. So
I told him the same thing. If anything, any part that goes out on your BCG, don't just try to replace that part because you don't know the condition of the rest of the BCG. It could have a stress fracture from it, you know, from getting sheared. And so you put something new on it. Yeah, it might be okay for a few more rounds, but eventually something is say the word catastrophic.
Catastrophic.
I can't say
Catastrophic.
Catastrophic. It's gonna happen, all right? And then your gun's really gonna go down.
Yep.
So I was like, you know, in the beginning we were mortaring it, trying to get it.
Yeah.
And it was not as obvious as mine, where like it's obvious as sheared. It was stuck in there. We just couldn't figure it out until afterwards we brought it down.
His was very noticeable.
Another thing was like, I was like, man, why are you shooting? I mean, hey, if you have the money for it, whatever, sure, buy a 6.5 Grendel. But I was like, for the event, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. It's just opinion of mine.
Yeah.
But I say, like, honestly, just run the gun with 5.56,
It's not
2.23.
bad.
You're fine. Like, especially the 18-inch. And like, I have a 14.5, but I decided to buy 18-inch upper
Because
for
of
the
this.
you
Yeah,
know.
I did the exact same thing. I also have a 14.5. I also have an 18 as well, and he recommended me to run an 18-inch. So that's what we did, and
I can see the big difference.
yeah, I've seen some of the guys that I ran with. One guy was running at 11, another guy was running at 13, another guy was running a 14, and I see some people who are just like
Struggling. It's
They
not
were.
impossible. It's not impossible, but
it's
it
like-
makes it harder.
yeah, especially if you're running like 14 with 55 grain, passing was at 500 yards, dude.
That's
It is
spread.
tough.
That's
It's
spread.
tough, and you're gonna be wasting a lot of ammo just trying to hit, things that long. I did bring 4 mags with me. I brought my last mag which was 55 grain for the very last stage because it was closer.
Yeah.
It was the only thing that was close, but everything else I ran 77. So I marked out my mag, so I knew which one it was, but I still have some ammo left over.
Yeah, same. I did the same thing. I ran 4 mags. I probably had like maybe like I think I went through like just in case I went through like 3. Not just kidding. I think I went like 3 or 4 rounds on my final mag.
Yeah.
But I still had like some left over out of my 3.
Yeah.
But as I was like shooting and going to my stage, I quickly moved my ammo and I put it in that
Same.
So that way, and that's another aspect. Like some people doesn't pay attention, and I saw that, especially as an RO, and it really gave me a better eyesight of how everyone's running and what things to look at, what I was right about in my theories, and what to look for. And so, once again, we're talking about barrel lengths now. So we go from there. You got anything shorter than a 16-inch barrel, people are starting to struggle. Their bullet drops are going to be more drastic. They're going to be fighting wind more often and things like that. With a 16 to 18-inch or higher, whatever, like it's almost point and shoot. And even if you with a 55 grain with an 18-inch, it has a way better odds than your shorter barrel. So you can get away with that play. You can get away with it because 55 grain was meant originally for a 20-inch barrel.
Yep.
So anything from a 20-inch to a 16-inch, you can get away with that high velocity round because obviously when you get shorter, you're losing velocity. You're losing velocity, you're losing more distance.
And you're losing more money if you're trying to, chase your, catch your splash.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of opened a lot of people's eyes when I was running the 18-inch, and I was running to other people who were competing. They're like, "Are you running with an 18?" I'm like, "Yes." And they're like, "What? Do you hate yourself?" I was like, "No, I don't hate myself. I actually want to hit my shots."
Yeah, man. And like,
just be real.
And so another thing like I saw is like people's gear.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
You want to talk about gear? Holy
about gear,
God.
man.
Okay, so we were running on a mountain.
What do you expect, man?
And it was from 0 to 4,500 feet elevation. The first 2 stages was straight incline. Absolute straight incline. It was, like I said, my legs wanted to...
You take my advice, by the way? To huff it in the first...
Oh, of course I did.
Distance?
Oh, yeah, of course I did. I was like...
There you go.
And, from that point on, it was like... I think after your stage, I couldn't feel my legs anymore.
Yeah. But after that, it started to kind of die down.
Yeah, it died down. So it was,
more often.
you were just kind of breathing down. And then from stage 6 to 7, when that deep decline was, hey, we can run down. No, you can't.
Yeah.
You walk down because you don't want to break your knees, and my knees were feeling it from that steep decline. But let's go over gear. The reason why we ran chest rigs because it's light, weight distribution. You don't need to carry that much. I saw some people in plate carriers with big rucks.
Yeah.
Holy God, dude.
And like, I wouldn't say like you're wrong, because you're not wrong for doing it. I mean, hey, you carry your gear and you learn how to work. There's nothing wrong about it. But there was just a lot of unnecessary things that I saw runners equip themselves that was like, and even besides the Recce Run event, like in general, like overall, like how do you see your outfit is like, you should probably take a second look at it.
Yeah.
Honestly, you don't need to become a moving armory. Okay, and that's how I saw some guys. They're like a moving armory.
Really? Oh my God.
They had like They had like 10 plus mags, giant rucksacks, gear, and they were just dying and sucking the whole entire time. And like
Man.
in my perspective, how you should be set up is your gear should load out. It should be set to the point where you can sustain yourself, but also be light. Carry what you need, not just for the heck of it.
Yeah.
Right? If you're not, unless you're in a really big team movement and you got vehicles and stuff like that, okay, you get away with it. But hey, if you're gonna be, you gotta put yourself what scenario you're gonna be in. You're gonna be in the mountains. Do you really think is that smart for you to carry all that stuff with you in the mountains? Even as a person if you're by yourself, you know, like you're gonna be moving super slow. And what that's gonna cause you to do is like that's gonna put a bigger target in your head. Let's say if you're, and we're not saying you're getting firefight or you're getting shot at or whatever, but let's just say, you know, we're putting scenarios in worst case scenario in life. If you're getting in a gunfight, you're gonna want to move. Okay, plate carriers and all that, that's all cool and dandy, but to me personally, unless you're with a big team movement, where in bigger team you are, the slower in general you're gonna move.
Yeah.
The smaller team you are, the faster you're gonna move.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're by yourself, you need speed on your side. If you ain't fit, you're gonna die. Period. So with that said, is like, hey man, just carry what you need. You might have to sacrifice a plate carrier. I mean, that's an option you can keep on you, but then that's one aspect where I can shed weight. I'd rather shed that plate carrier and use the environment as my plate carrier to protect myself and put cover, and move quick to quick.
If you're engaging at long targets as well, I mean, if you guys look at our one of our recent videos, was it the Woodland night shoots?
Yeah.
That was a prime example of none of us were wearing plate carriers. We were all wearing chest rigs. It was a 2-man team, and we were moving and hustling. None of the weights slowed us down.
Yeah.
So.
With that, like people, I mean, like it was drastic. You saw guys who were kitted out to the max, and then you saw people who were stripped down, like just carried bare minimum.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with that, you know. For that specific event, I'm like, hey man, that's good. You're wearing shorts, you're wearing tennis shoes, you know, all you have is just enough ammo you need. Hey,
that's good.
For that event specifically, totally fine. Nothing wrong, okay? But like a little general, like an overall, like at the same time, at least for us, like as a more tactical standpoint, this event was created to test out your gear and test how you shoot, and test how you move,
and your endurance.
It gives you a life check, basically,
and a gear check,
and
a gun check in a way.
Yeah,
because you know
it really shows on who really practices and operates their gun.
Yeah,
things like that.
There were a couple of I guess different types of people who actually competed in this event. Rios brought it up to me yesterday, and how he saw there were people who just buy all the Gucci stuff, who don't shoot well or shoot often. There's people who train like this.
Basic shit.
Basic stuff.
But they know how to run it.
They know how to run it.
Run
exactly. And there were other people was people from Vegas, people from Colorado, people from Idaho who literally traveled just to come to something like this, which I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was kind of dope. Let me see. Is there anything else you want to go over?
Let's see. We've gone over rifles. We've gone over gear. We've gone over in general, like what to expect. We've gone over the range. And social networking like that. Like it's really good amount of people that, you know, people are really in the same interest area that we're in, and so that was one of the top 2 things on why we joined this event.
Yeah.
One, to test ourselves out and see what we can do and see like, hey, what any of the training that we did, all the training that we did in ourselves and our, you know, out in the range, out and about, like did that really gave you perspective and help you out for this event? Did
it apply? Exactly.
Did it apply to it?
So when I first sent it to Rio, I was like, hey, there's this Recce Ridge coming up, and he said, hey, we're going to do it. So it was me, him, and then Hunter went in, and then it kind of got cut off because there was a max amount of people that they allowed, so Chuck couldn't do it. I think Joker, he's out of the country right now, so he couldn't do it, and Rob heard about it way last minute.
Yeah.
So, you know, like I said, if it happens again, we'll definitely let him know. But we started, like him, Hunter, and we started conditioning months prior to this. We were training our endurance by ourselves to prep for something like this. Freaking Hunter runs like 6 miles, like, you know, 3 times a week. You were doing, you know, you're running in the woods. I was running in the woods as well. Just practice carrying all my stuff on me. Well, not all the stuff, but just like, you know, a weighted vest to run up and down mountains. And I'll tell you, for me, it still wasn't enough. I'll tell you that right now. I needed to train more. It was that hard. Worth it, but it was still that difficult. It's a humbling experience because I know that you will never reach the peak of your physical conditions.
Even if you do, it's very hard to maintain it.
Exactly. So it's always good to just have the mentality of, you know, there's ways to improve. There's always ways to improve your diet, how much you sleep, your work, everything.
Don't apply to me, man.
See, there you go. Right. I want to ask you this because you know you're an RO. What would you have improved?
What I improved for myself, or like what?
Well, first of all, let's say what you would improve for yourself, and another thing, what you would like to see next time, or could have been done better.
For myself, overall, there's just only really 2 aspects that I really, you know, wish that I was on top of, and I kind of let it slip. And I was like, oh, I thought I would be okay getting away with it. Turned out no. One, pistol ammo. You know, buying match grade ammo or consistent ammo at bare minimum.
Don't mix your grains.
Don't mix your grain. Training wise, whatever, man. Just like spit it out, shoot it out. But for a competition, things like that specifically, or as in a reserve, as your real self-defense ammo, or ammo that you know that you can rely on, and your pistol is zeroed on.
It has to stay the same.
Keep that, right? So that's what screwed me up. That's what I failed at. Every spot that had pistol, I basically messed up. And I was hating myself for it because I'm like, I know I don't suck. I'm a good shooter. It's legitimately the ammo. You know, some people say it's the ammo, whatever. There's some people that are just straight trash. Like, yeah. But I'm confident. I promise you, I'm confident that it was pretty much most of my ammo and my zero was off. It was not properly aligned with it. So I had to do a lot of guesswork on that. I was very smart and took in the 18-inch route to minimize my bullet drop compensation and shooting with a heavier grain to fight off that wind, because I already know we're going to be in the mountains. I already know it's going to be windy conditions, especially that winter's coming in. It's all that. I was already playing the weather in a role. My clothing was spot on where I had it. I had my winter pants, that lightweight. Well, you wore them as well.
Yeah, I wore them as well.
You know, they're very lightweight. As you're running, they were keeping you warm, which was keeping your legs loose.
And then when you stood still,
you know, it was still helping. Trust me. If you had regular pants or whatever, like your legs would have been frozen the whole entire time, and you're gonna be hurting a lot more.
So on that note, Hunter actually helped me with my clothing. You weren't there, but I was layered too. I had 3 layers on top, 2 layers on the bottom, and Hunter was like,
"It's too much."
Exactly. So Hunter's like, "Dude, you want to delayer?" I was like, "Are you sure?" He was like, "Yeah, dude. Like, you don't want to be a liability because you have so much you're sweating, and then when you're up there and you're standing, you're freezing."
Yeah.
Hunter was like, "Hey, dude, are you wearing any thermals underneath?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Take it off. Like, just wear your pants." I was like, okay. And then after stage 1, I was like, thank you, Hunter. Because it was like, I was already starting to sweat. And then, I was just, not gonna lie, dude, I was praying to God that I could make it through this. Jeez, it was tough for me. But
one stage at a time. That's where you get, when things like that really put our perspective into like really get through it. Like, if you look at it from, especially when you just started or you just finished stage 1, you're like, damn, I got 6 more to go. And on top of that, you just finished stage 1, you're still going to stage 2, and you're going straight up, and you're really thinking to yourself, like, what did I do?
Yeah, this is like, I was like, damn, this is stupid. You know? But then like after stage 3, it was like, okay, you got a good rhythm going on. Yeah. I honestly thought that, I'm not sure what you think too, because I think you and
I took it as a challenge.
Well, it wasn't just that. I thought if they moved stage 2 to a different thing, I think I wouldn't hate it as much. But since they had stage 2 literally after stage 1, I thought it was dumb.
Think so? I didn't think it was dumb, honestly.
I just thought the tripod was dumb.
No, the tripod.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's what you meant. Yeah,
Yeah,
out
that's
of
what I
all the
meant.
stages, the tripod was the dumbest thing. Everything else was pretty good, and you could work your way through it.
Yeah, but just I didn't see the applicable use of the tripod. If there's anything that I said that if we can prove it next time, if they're ever going to be doing this again next time, take the tripod out.
Or if you're gonna have get a
If you're gonna
legit tripod and have a bag or something where you can actually lay your rifle on, that makes more sense.
Yeah,
But
and
not
if
just
it's
have
behind
bigger-
cover or something like that, because it was wide out. It was wide open in the field.
It's flimsy,
Flimsy,
and, it was like,
and
dude, it was like
And it broke on me. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that if you're timing and something like this busted, you have to just make it work. And I even asked them, hey, can I use my bipod instead? They're like, no, you gotta use a tripod. You have to use this. I'm just like, exactly. So that's what I said.
Go back with the clothing though, real
Yes,
quick.
clothing.
So I ran with my lightweight winter pants. It's just a thin liner, where it keeps you warm, not from the cold, but it's still breathable. So then that's not gonna sweat, and then it's not gonna freeze on me. So I wore that. Then on my top, I wore a level 4 Under Armour long sleeve as my base. No, correction. I wore a tight athletic tank top.
Okay.
That way I can vent out my sweat. And then I had my level 4 Armor winter athletic sleeve.
I gotcha.
So with that, as I warm up, and I can vent it out, and it can cool me off, and I can dry off as I'm running
Gotcha.
or when I stop. And so that kept me pretty good. Also had a ghillie suit on,
His ghillie was pretty beast. He
Yeah.
ran in it, and it looked like leaves that were just blowing in the wind.
Ran with the ghillie suit, was a Viper hoodie, and then I weaved it and customized it myself. It was very lightweight, and at the same time, it kind of kept me warm a little bit. It put very little to no effect on my run because it was still very lightweight. It wasn't like a full-on ghillie suit. That would have sucked.
It was like a crop top.
Yeah, it was like a crop top ghillie suit. Hey, it worked. It worked for me, and I liked it. I got so many compliments, and I was like, oh, thank you. It was right after Halloween, and I was like, go for it.
Can you imagine him in the ghillie suit and then him missing all the shots on stage
Oh,
one? Like,
man.
this guy, what the hell is he doing? Then stage 2 happens, like, okay, he's good.
Yeah, my stage 1 was a very bad impression I had. But after that, they were like, okay, this guy can actually shoot.
Like, what the hell happened? It's like, we've been misled.
And then it felt more proper, and it fit me more, that especially on stage 3.
Yeah.
Where that was like majority of people were filming it, and I also got the best time and maxed that sucker out.
That was great.
And I was like, yep. I fit the vibe. I fit the vibe.
Like just throw it in my hand, toss away the pistol. Like, let's get it right.
So
what else did you wear?
That's all really. In my chest rig, I had my chest rig, 4 mags. I had a rangefinder. I didn't utilize it for the competition. As an RO, I did. I had my admin pouch where it had my average dope I had on my rifle, and also used that to hold my card whenever I do my check-ins and like that, and where I keep everything safe, pins. Underneath that, I had my emergency, my medical kit, my dangler pouch underneath my chest rig, and I skipped out on the battle belt. Instead, I just looped my pistol holster to my belt and tightened that up, because I'm like, okay, for this event specifically, I don't see no point, because over time, and people are not gonna realize it, I'm pretty sure you found out about it, Hunter found out, a lot of people found out about it, because I bet y'all's hips were kind of sore overall.
Not me.
Not you? Okay,
No.
you're good, but there's a lot of people. For me, like during the event you're running, you're fine, but afterwards you can probably feel the soreness you have around.
The only time the only thing that bruised me from the belt was my mag pouches. So they weren't adjustable; they just sit 90 degrees, and it pinched this part of my hip, but that was it. My holster was fine because I was wearing a Rapid Force alien gear, which kind of helps swivel, so it didn't hurt at all.
Yeah.
It was kind of nice. It was really light. I was running a 365 too, very very light gun, and I was running 17. I was running 4 17 mags, pistol rounds. No, 5 actually.
Yeah, I had that. I wore my ghillie top. I had my beanie, my Under Armour beanie. It was sports, so it kept me warm. It kept me not freezing cold, but it wasn't hot, you know. So it was lightweight, and so like put it in perspective, right? In the cold, you're gonna be running a lot, but there's also times where you'd be stagnant. And I put him the text before we ran. It was like, hey, dress up just enough where you're not freezing. It's okay to be cold, but as long as you're not freezing, because you don't want to overheat. And then when you overheat and you get stagnant, then you're gonna get freezing because all that sweat gets cold.
And then
There's
some people get hypothermia.
and there you go, and you're dead. Congratulations, you killed yourself because you're stupid.
It happens. Right.
So other than that, you know, another thing I feel like I would like to do, I put it on, but I didn't fill it out, is I have my dope on my rifle. I didn't fill it out. It's on my scope cap, and I have it right there. You know, so if I know the range, if I had time to laze it, my target, find out what I'm at, I can easily just look at my scope cap and then adjust on my reticle. And that's it. Another thing I really enjoyed about the scope caps I put this on, this is a knockoff 100 Concepts. I will tell you that.
Was it Mag?
I forget
Mag
the
Wrap? Is it Mag Wrap?
something like that. I can send the link on
Okay,
Amazon.
cool. Awesome.
But it's a knockoff version. They use the same material, man. It's plastic. They use the same 550 cord, cummerbunds, all that. It works just as good. It's just name brand. You want to pay for it, and I got it cheap for like 1/3 of the cost. Definitely highly recommend. I really did enjoy having this.
Yeah.
Because as you're running the event and all that, I know I didn't have to worry about my lens getting dirty or fogged or dust, especially when you get on the grounds. When I was
dusty.
When I was ready to shoot, all I had to do was pop, ready to go. And then there's no urgency to clap it back on. As I'm running, whatever, I'm just like, okay, bam, bam. Really simple as I run, you know. Don't have to worry about the flip ups or my hinge breaking off. Those cheap flip ups covers, those don't.
Trash.
They're trash. I mean,
they fall off easy.
Yeah, they're trash or they break off very easily. I've gone through like almost every single time I bought an LPVO or a scope that came with those, they're either gone or broke.
That happened with my primary arms one. Yep.
So definitely recommend this. They're super lightweight. It makes a difference in protecting your glass. So that way when you get on your glass, it's, you know, it's clear. You know your glass is clear. And it's ready to go. I also really enjoy my bipod grip, multi-function. You know, one, I keep it close. Like when you build your rifle, you build it with a purpose. Some people, they just build it because it just looks cool, you know, and they're just copying a lot of people. You really gotta tailor to yourself and how you're gonna operate. You know, for like me, like instead of me having a foregrip or a C-clamp or a bipod sticking out, because then that's adding more weight to the front, give me a foregrip bipod. It's lightweight, it's easy to deploy, it's easy to put back and together. I can hold it like this, especially after you're tired. And when you're running, I found ways to carry it, you know. As I'm running with the rifle, I'm either running like this, going uphill, whatever, or I'll take a little break, I'll run like this, or I get to the point where it's slinged and I have it like this.
Yep, that's what I exactly
have it like that. And then, you know, over time, you know, the sling, you know, it's digging up on you, and I recommend lightweight, good slings.
Yes.
But at the time where like, hey, I need to take off some pressure off my shoulder, all I did is just lift this up a little bit just to relieve some tension.
What kind of sling is that?
This is the Blue Force, I believe.
Blue Force, got it. So I was running a Slide Gear Tactical with a...
No, I'm sorry, correction. Flatline. Flatline fiber, which I really do love them.
Flatline's dope.
Because they're very lightweight and there's just enough padding and it's comfortable, where it's not going to dig into you. I really do recommend. And this is the one where you can quickly adjust and bring it in and out.
Yeah, my Slide Tactical is the same thing, just thicker padding, but it was dope. I really like my Slide Tactical. I really like Slide Tacticals.
Another thing.
What's up?
When, especially as an RO, seeing people looking for their targets. Because as an RO, we can't exactly tell you. Well, I kind of tell them where it's at, you know, but it's once I tell you once, like, hey man, I already told you where it's at, you're going to have to figure it out yourself after that. Because I can't keep reminding you. I give you a really good, solid, general understanding of where it's at, what color it is, boom, go find it, get it.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I just seeing them, they're just like on their scope and they're looking and they're like, find it, whatever. Or they'll find it and then they'll try to get back and they lose it. And especially if they have a red dot on top of their scope, I'm like, use your red dot, man. I was like, there's a reason. There's multi-purposes you can utilize your red dot, not just for up close. Find the target, find it with your red dot, and then get on your grass, and you're on it. You know, some people that are like, you're constantly doing this and this and this and this. I was like, you can cut that crap out. You can cut that step out, minimize it, but just finding it at the one power where it's generally at with your green dot, and then getting your glass. So you don't have to mess with your scope and getting your power going up and down. Just, for example, have it at freaking 8 power or 6 or whatever. Find it with your dot and get on it. You're already zoomed in. Bam, bam. And I was just seeing some people just not utilizing the gear. Once again, it goes back utilizing your gear and training with it and understanding how to work it. I saw so many guys, especially the ones with the Gucci stuff. And I was like, hey man, there's no point of you having all the Gucci cans and flashlight and lasers and dots and scopes if you don't know how to use it. So I saw guys with basic stuff outperform guys with the Gucci shit.
Shows you how that training really does pay off.
So,
guys.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, like people, they don't know, but
Exactly.
That's where you want to learn and train. And like after, if they have every time, I'll kind of give them advice or I kind of like teach them, run it through them.
Yeah, which is very helpful. Hopefully you guys can learn a lot just from, I guess, our explanation. We couldn't get much video because we were just really busy.
Yeah.
I just want to get the course done. I didn't think about recording anything, but if we do this next time, I actually want to either have Tucker just be like, hey, do it with us, but don't shoot. Just record us. Just go up there, record us, or if there's any of you guys who wants to come record us while we focus on shooting.
We need some cameramen.
Yeah.
Or woman.
Just camera guy. Camera people.
Camera
people.
You know?
And
That way we can take our load off a little bit and focus more on training.
So that way you guys can see what it is that we're actually doing. We're not sure if there's going to be another one next time, just depending on how well this does. And maybe this video will actually spread the word out there to be like, hey, Utah's doing a Recce Run. Let's all get into it.
There is though. For June.
Utah Shooters.
Utah Shooters, yeah, it's free for us since we attended this course.
Okay, so I guess Utah Shooters are doing
June.
a Recce Run.
Another
run.
Yeah.
Okay. So
prep for June.
I didn't know that's okay. Son of a bitch. Okay, I got promotion more.
Training never ends, man.
Oh, I know it does, but I got stuff on my level of training. And so is there anything else you want to go over, or you want to improve on about this or the entire event in general?
I wish I had my proof research upper.
Okay, so he's actually got his proof research barrel in. I might actually get one as well, but I was running my upper was a PSA FN barrel. My lower was a Geisley. I was running a Huxworth flow through can as well. I was running an Arcan scope. I don't have a bipod foregrip, but I had a bipod and a foregrip. And I was actually running a light on it too. I wish I think about it now.
How did that affect you when you ever had to mount or brace your rifle and things? That too much space taken away that you couldn't mount it?
The only time, and this is why I was giving crap about stage 2, was the tripod. Everything else, I did it like it was great. Because when I was at your on stage 2, when I had to use a tripod, it just kept getting in the way. I was like, this is dumb, So I was like, okay, whatever. So I just used this tip right here for just putting it on my tripod, and that's when I kind of C-clamped it, I braced it, and then obviously my shots were just all over the place because my optic decided to say no to me that entire day. But then stage 3, I was like, can I use my bipod? Like, yeah, absolutely. Beautiful. I run up there, just whack it down, lay it down there, good. And then when I moved to the part 2 of stage 3, which I didn't have time, but I just used the bipod just to put it up against that thing and held it there. Stage 4, when we with caution tape. So I used my foregrip, I used my vertical grip there, and then lucky I only had 3 shots and I hit 2, and then that's when I moved and I booked, and then I yanked down the bipod, and then that's when I was chasing splash and stuff like that. But dude, honestly, bipod is amazing. I actually want to get a bipod foregrip now because now it makes sense why you would have one. So if there's any companies out there that's developing a bipod foregrip that's going to be quality,
there is. So
more durable. How about that?
Yeah,
no, more durable.
So this is a knockoff. I used to have a legit one, and it lasted me for a long time until one day it just finally gave out. It broke. ever since then, I've probably replaced
Past 6 times.
Not 6 times.
Close.
It's like 3. It was 3 times, okay? And it wasn't this part. No, it was one failure in the mount, and then most of it was the internals ripping off, okay? Like if as long as I pay attention, I'm gentle, not slamming it, it works, it's fine, it'll last. But if I do need to just pay a little more money and get one that's more reinforced, the guts are more reinforced, because they can make them for like 249s.
Yeah.
Heavy duty gunners
Heavy
like
duty
that.
ones, so
I just gotta grab one of those.
Well, hey, maybe grab 2, because I'm gonna put that on mine as well, because that's something that I will probably
and
change
it's
on
weight
as well.
distribution.
Weight distribution, yeah.
Because you're taking off the weight up front and you're bringing them more closer.
You guys would not believe the weight distribution on a rifle matters, especially on something like this. Holy God.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. It's like, thanks for his tips, man. Like, because my bipod was literally right in the middle of it, and some people were like, "Why is it so close? Why is it not far?" I was like, "Because my reach, it's not that far." So they were like, "Oh, that kind of makes sense."
Yeah.
And
well, that's another thing. People who are not really like, because when people think about bipod, everyone's gonna put up front.
It's like, yeah, it kind of makes sense, but in the grand scheme of things, if you're short like me, who's 5'5", who can't even reach this far, and maybe even some of the ladies there could maybe relate. Your arm's not that far enough, so move the bipod closer, sweep it down, and then put it up. So
what's gonna be excuse? Oh, well, you have no more bottom rail space because it's mostly taken from that bipod. Okay, deploy the bipod, then you have this free space.
Exactly. So
if you have a bipod placed right here, I have all this free real estate to brace and engage my rifle.
Exactly. And that was another thing that during some of the stages when you're bracing it up against a chair, a ladder, same thing, right? Well, I think it was stage 5. Stage 5, we there was 4 targets out there. What was the range? It was like 400, 500.
Can't remember the range, but it was anywhere from 300 to 400.
Yeah, 300 to 400. And the part 1 was you had to shoot 4 targets twice on a chair, and they were like, utilize it how it goes. In that real case scenario, that would make sense, because that you're just gonna find whatever things to mount your rifle on top of in order to shoot out of. The tripod, I'm giving the tripod so much shit. I'm so sorry. But then the chair,
he's not gonna let that go.
No, the chair was good, and then once you finish with that one, you move over to the ladder. Makes sense, right? And then you just reverse the shots, and then there was the end of that stage was the pistol, which was pretty nice. But other than that, is there anything else that you want to?
Also things, especially because I just pulled this out. Have a little wipe.
I do that. Yep, I have my wipes. I have my ear. What kind of earplug were you using?
I forgot what they're called, but they're the in-piece ones. They're pretty decent. I actually didn't have no battery in them.
God damn.
So they're basically just like earplugs.
Earplugs,
at
gotcha.
that point.
So
but it still worked.
I was using, it was good. So in my grip, in my pistol, in my grip, I have wipes. My microcloth wipes, and I also put my ear pros in there. Oh. So I wear decibels.
That'd be good to add extra little
earplugs because if you guys are out there and all of a sudden things go crazy or things go crazy, you put some in here. It's genius. Yeah. You don't gotta put lube in there. I mean, as long as you leave your things fine. I mean, you could. But yeah, ear protection in there. I put some in there, and my decibels fit in there very well. I was wearing percussive decibels, so I can hear everybody while they're talking, and whenever I shoot, it kind of muffles it. So it was a really good investment. I think I paid $50 for those, and it was great. Thank you, Decibel. It was comfortable in my ears. It didn't bother me at all. I know some people who wear those big muffs for long periods of times, and it just aches even with the gel pads. But I just put those in my ears and call it a day, because I was thinking about weight too. Yeah. I was thinking about weight. I didn't want so much weight on my head for running 3, 4, 5 hours.
And earmuffs are not bad. It's after, but for me, you really have to get your cheek placed right, because it can get annoying where it bends up against it, and then if it does it, you can accidentally pop it off, and
when you shoot, it's gonna be loud.
And you just messed up your ear because you just pushed your earmuffs out.
So earbuds was pretty good, but other than that, man, I had fun. I had a lot of fun. So, is there anything else you want to go over on that day?
I think we ran through pretty
good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Here is his Hunter's after action report. So as he was prepping, as he was conditioning for this run, he ran 2 to 3 times a week 3 to 6 miles per run, and he also did a lot of push-ups and a lot of jump rope. He did place 12th in the men's 10K with one stage, did not finish on stage 3. So that's really impressive, seeing that there were 55 people in the men's division that competed in the 10K. He wore a chest rig, Ace Tactical with an H harness. He only had 3 30-round rifle mags on it. He carried the rest of his loadout on his battle belt, 2 pistol 21 mags, 1 30-round rifle mag, an IFAK dump pouch, Darrow level 2 holster. His rifle was a 16-inch arrow upper with the primary arms, 1.8 LPVO, Luru bipod, and a Smith & Wesson lower, Magpul furniture, and a Victor sling. That's all he carried on his rifle. His pistol was a factory setting SIG P320 AXG Pro Combat. His clothes, he wore just Under Armour stuff. His boots, he was a huge fan of. They were very lightweight. He says they were very comfortable, and he felt really good about it, about his performance. I guess a good after-action report, if you can summarize this whole Recce Run, what would it be?
Double check, make sure you have the proper ammo.
Yes.
Make sure your optics are zeroed for that ammo. And be conditioned in your clothing with your gear and all that, and be humble and take whatever you did personally. Like every runner had something where they need to learn on, including myself. So really take that, and wanting to learn and get better and utilize it for your next event and just in general training,
Yeah.
It's just an eye opener on how do you operate.
Yeah.
Because like majority, 98% of the people, 99.9, whatever, we call them basement operators, or they buy stuff because it looks good. And I'm not saying, hey, great. Drip is half the battle. Don't get me wrong.
Get on you.
Drip's half the battle, but the other half is learning how to use it and having the right equipment to use.
Yeah.
And that's more suitable for you. It makes no sense for you to buy things that if you can't actually utilize it, or it makes no sense. Everything you buy, you have to, and build has to have a purpose. Build your rifle with a purpose, not just because it looks cool. Like I said, that's half the battle. The other half is put it in a purpose. And that's when I ask people, when they talk about their guns and all that, it's so common. Like it's like, oh, I got a 16 inch, or I got a 14.5. Oh, cool, I got a 1 through 8. All right, cool. What's the purpose? Mm-hmm. It's like, well, this is voodoo and all that. Okay, what's the purpose? How does that make you better? How does it make your rifle better? How are you going to utilize it to your advantage?
Mm-hmm. So
cool, you got the capabilities, but how are you going to utilize it?
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
So, just like I said, with people not using the red dot to help them align and find their targets and then get them across, shit like that.
That's something that I'll probably add onto my 18 inches, probably, piggyback red dot as well as, because I have it on my 14, but I'm going to put it on my 18 inch as well, because for me, it just makes better sense.
And go 12 o'clock, like this.
Yeah, dude, I'm always going to do 12 o'clock now, because it's just, for me, it just makes sense for me to just peek up and then go back down. Less movement.
And there's more ways to utilize it. With this, if you have it canted, whatever, you're very restricted on only using that dot canted. Up top, you can use it as a point of reference. You can use it passive night vision, and you can use it as a normal red dot in a pinch. Those 3 factors, 3 benefits using this.
Yep.
Yeah. Immediately over a canted red dot.
Yeah.
The best you can do with a canted red dot is you're gonna have to quickly get like that. Cool.
It looks cool.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, if you don't have night vision, whatever, it's cool, but it's just more extra movement. Because, like, let's say I spot, then now, I have to turn my gun out. Here, peek, find my target, on glass, bam. Night vision, boom, it's already aligned.
Yeah. So hopefully this information could help people who want to get better and stuff like this. If you're just doing the Recce Run just to have fun, cool, go for it. This video is definitely irrelevant to you, because I believe the video, or I guess the purpose of me actually doing a video like this is for people who went there or who want to do something like this, who want to figure out how to get better from our experiences.
I literally just got 3 text messages right now asking about the group.
No kidding. I guess we'll be doing another run in June, so I guess be on the lookout for that.
Yep.
Hopefully we can get a camera crew to show you some of the stages. If people who actually run the Recce in June want to communicate with us on like, hey, let's get a camera crew, let's get some people out there for you to shoot us, then heck yeah, we're down. You know, we could, you know, we can set something up to us so we can spread good information out there, and helpful information. Not just good and helpful, you know, not just information, but good and helpful information.
Yeah.
Any last words?
Index.